Okay, how many of you in your moves have moves that where a hand drops back like that? Raise your hand if you don't have a move that goes where the hand drops back like that. Okay, so, all right. How many of you have moves where you turn and the move comes across? How many don't have that somewhere in there? Okay, I'll start asking it that way. Let's see, so back. How many of you have one that comes where the movement in some form comes across you this way or out like that? And who does, anybody not? Okay. And you don't have it anywhere in your style? I've seen your style. There are plenty of moves doing this.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, but maybe not as...
But a move that's that move.
Maybe I don't see it as...
Okay. And then how many of you have moves where this is, and don't worry about the last part, I'm really focusing on this at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, every last one of those, at least as a base application, is a groin strike. Now, if you're going to do a really good groin strike on people, most people were in grade school at one point and played that game in some way with some friends of theirs, even if it wasn't always fun. How did you do it? That way or that way? You know, whipping it, and soft, right? And so it's soft. I'll do it to this, but it's that, right? Not quite that mean with your friends, but this way, right? And it's a soft movement, and it's all over the place. Look at your moves. You'll find more than half of them have something in them that is happening there. Now, the way that I think about Tai Chi for application, initially, not fighting yet, although fighting the same way, is if I'm 90 and still able to walk one block, and I'm going to be attacked by somebody who's 20 and large and angry and crazy and coming, running away is probably not my option. Especially if I can just walk a block or two or that kind of a thing. I'm probably not outrunning them. I'm also going to play, there's a joke about two women are in a parking lot. One of them is an older, richer lady, old and rich, and the other one is young and has a Ferrari, and she's young and fast. And the young and fast person cuts off the old lady and looks at her and goes, "I'm young and fast." And the old lady takes her large luxury car that's built like a tank and crushes the Ferrari and says, "And I'm old and rich." And Tai Chi is about being old and rich. So the guy goes, "I'm gonna do this," and Tai Chi goes, "Okay, do that." You know. Anyway, so what I want you to look at for a moment is look at your moves, and if you don't have at least 3 to 5 that come to mind really, really rapidly, and look at them for where are movements in there that are groin strikes like that, and that it would be more of a swinging or a whipping kind of a move if you sped it up a little bit and relax with it. Take a look at that now. If you don't have 3 to 5 that come to mind, like pretty fast, grab me or him or Ben, and we'll be happy to make sure you've got at least 3 to 5 in your moves that you do that do that. Begin now. How are they attacking you? Because here I am walking or standing, and I don't want any of that, and they're doing this thing here, right? And I go, "No, I really don't want any trouble this way," or he comes up to grab you around from behind, and I'm already that way, or that way, and I'm being careful not to really hit him, right? But the point is, or he grabs me on the arm, right? Like, and part of the reason I hold my structure is because you saw where my head was to his face. If I lose structure and I do that, it hurts me. If I keep structure and do that, it does not hurt me. It'll be that, and my structure is good to take it. But if my neck's off, my neck will take it. I don't want my neck to take it. My structure can do that just fine, no problem. That, but because it's structured. But as soon as I start leaning my neck somewhere, it goes into my neck. That I don't want. Okay. It'll be this, right? So in the form, you do it slow and you're walking it off, and you're doing that in order to work on that body integrity that I was talking about here up top. And also because if you're doing it fast, there's a tendency to want to tense up, and really the better shot is is that, right? And so I'm working on this that way. So if I'm doing the movements, it's loose. Right? Two old names for Tai Chi. One of them is loose boxing, which we're kind of doing now, and the other is cotton boxing. We'll talk about cotton boxing in our next session. But loose boxing is one of them as well. Okay, go ahead. This move, lead, brush knee. I'm just calling them off by shape, depending, because I know that a lot of times there's more than one name for a move too. But brush knee, yes. The lead with the fingers at least initially, and then it becomes the palm. How many do not do that? Where it's flat the whole time? Nobody. So everybody's leading with fingers, okay? How many, if you're doing some version of repulse monkey or monkey retreats, it's fingers first and then it becomes the rest? How many are not doing it that way? Let's put it that way, where it's flat from the beginning. And that's, so everybody's doing it that way somehow. What all of these finger strikes are initially is they're either throat strikes, so it's here and then the flat follows. Don't worry about the flat part at the moment. I'm interested in the first part. Or it's an eye strike. And so it's eyes, flat, but you really, what you've done is you've used the, if you come in here and you do this, all of your energy impacted is straight there. So most of the expression has been expressed at that point. If I lead with fingers, I get a little bit of impact, and then my expression carries across. Well, if I'm doing that to the eyes or the throat, what it does is it makes it the Demak aspect of the Tai Chi, where you're getting in there, and then you're shutting the door on it, making sure it goes in as the palm becomes the shape. But what people tend not to notice, because of the slowness that we tend to work our forms at, is that first strike's not touch them and then pop them. That first strike is hold your hand up here like this. That first strike is that, and it's soft, by the way. If you do it hard, it'll hurt your fingers. Now, if you do it too flimsy, it can hurt your fingers as well. The reality of it is think about, for those of us old enough, the old Palmolive commercials. It's that shape. And if you look at your positioning, a lot of times that's what it is, and it becomes the other thing. So it is shaped, and it's that. And it's that to throat or to eyes. There are other places, but right now, think about throat and eyes, and then the rest of it's coming in there. And so literally, if you were going to do it, it's that. And if you feel my fingers here, they're not, and here's how you can do it. You tell them I'm not doing that. I'm not, can you see what, if you can see? I'm not doing this. That hurts.
Break your fingers.
It hurts. I'm doing this. It's this way. Like that. You can do that part with your partner and then think about this being their eyes and then look at your shot. And when you do it, it's done with this whipping speed a little bit with body frame following. Even this one, it's an eye shot. It's a whip. And that way, now on here, it's just kind of cut and cross, but here it's designed to cut the eye. On here, it's designed to put this ridge up into the part of that part of the throat. That's the shot. So Tai Chi, calm, passive, nice Tai Chi is throat shot, eye shot, groin shot. That way, when you go, I'm so much bigger and younger and stronger than you are. Okay, be careful with each other. I want you to watch this hand for a moment. Do you do your move here and then it goes flat and then it's flat for the rest of the move? No. And what I'll put across to you is it doesn't. Ideally, it's becoming this shape as I go that way, and it's becoming, it isn't that shape already, it's becoming that shape, it's becoming that shape, and it really becomes fully that shape at the end of the movement, not halfway through the movement. So it's not this for the last part. If you do, this is now stagnant, right? Or it's blocked, or it's ended its movement instead of flowing movement, right? And so it's the same thing. If I'm hitting the eye, I'm becoming, it gets their eyes, and then it finishes becoming. Or throat, or what, you know. Okay, go ahead. Things can be done a little differently from one style to the other. It's groin hit that bends them forward, eye hit with that. eye hit, groin hit. There's that groin hit. Eye hit. Groin hit, eye hit. And I want to continue because I'm not learning to do groin hit, eye hit like that. That in the street will make somebody really upset and they might be hurt and feel it a lot more later, but right now they're doing this if they haven't jumped on you already. That is, they're doing this and wishing they hadn't fooled with you. More likely. Because you followed through to get the power delivery that you needed to be a stopping movement instead of an irritating movement. But without the follow through, which the moves are, it's in your moves, then it's not right. And hence the effect won't be correct either. Okay, continue for a moment and then we'll. There's my shot to the groin all the way up to the throat, right? Focus somewhere else. There's my shot. And it's not, it's not, stay there, stay there, stay there. It's not that. It's that. Right? It's either there, or if it's across, either one, it's all good. In other words, what I've seen for most Tai Chi forms that are quality, most real Tai Chi forms, which is most forms that you see, not all of them, but most of them, it's done right. They may have their own little flavor of it, but it's correct. So that's why I don't worry too much about that part of it. Now somebody says, well, this is such and such a form that got made up and I've never heard of it and it's kind of modern, then I'll take a look and go, oh, let's see, I'm not so sure about that. But if it's Yang or Chen or Wu or Sun or 25 others, it should be fine. So the, and again, they may have their own nuance for how they're doing that. All right, so do it where you've got either a knuckle pushing like that, and do that for a moment, and then right behind that, so do it about 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and then they should be moving, do that to me, do what you need to use the pen. And do it where you're, now here's the other thing, it could be that you let it slide. If you let it slide. In other words, I'm not moving as much as coming in. I could be doing it all here, but instead, I'm turning just enough and I'm letting it slide. That's so that, and that's what this part of movement is about in terms of softness, that if I'm soft to it, I may not have to move all the way, and I don't want to do this. Because then guess what happens now? Here he comes with the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And so he had me get the right. There's the groin shot. Right? To the wall there. Let that become the weapon. Right? The knockout point there with this, depending on the move. The break. And the break again isn't, it's not that. That's not what your Tai Chi doesn't move like that. Hopefully. It's through. Through gets the break. Right, you're breaking it through. Like that. And so he pushes with it, again, his knuckles or your pen. I've slipped it. Right, and then do your move. Stay soft the whole time. If you tense, it quits working. It actually has to be soft. That's how Tai Chi works. That doesn't mean it doesn't have hard aspects. It means that it's fluidly soft and like water, with the heaviness of water, at times at least, in it for the move execution to be correct for application. It really applies the way that you move with it, not some other way. I start seeing, when I've had people come and they're, okay, I know a bunch of applications for Tai Chi, and I start seeing very stiff applications. They go, those might be applications for the way you do your Tai Chi, but those are not Tai Chi applications. It doesn't move like that. It moves like this. All right? Try it. Be careful with your partner. Okay, so let me say this real quick, just so I've addressed it. If it's a self-defense situation and he's somebody over here that's take a step or two that way, and me that way, just here and fist up, and
and out there and King Kong kind of a thing, yeah. Grr, or Godzilla, think of it. There you go, now we're talking. Just a grr, like that. And he's got the scowl and the yelling and his energy's jumping off of him and angry, and here he comes and all that stuff. And I'm doing, and again, if I'm old enough, it's not like I'm really gonna run off. At the same time, I'm already gonna start going, positioning, if you were, for where he's at and what he's doing. And so here's what I mean by that. Now, when you look at Tai Chi, again, if you look at the postures, there are a ton, tell me if this is not in your Tai Chi, a ton of sweeping motions. Sweeping, by sweeping, I mean this. Does anybody not have a ton of sweeping motions in their Tai Chi? And I'm sure that you've got sweeping motions in forms, right? Okay. And so what's going on with that, one of the things there are a number of things, but one of the things going on with that is he's being all aggressive. I'm going to start off in a position that's best for whatever position he's in. In this case, he's fighting like somebody that wants to pound me with fists, in which case that's more of an up position, of which there's a few in Tai Chi, depending on your style, however you do it, but that are best suited to that if he's over there and doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to start there, and I'm going to design, and it's designed, let's say his fists are where they're at now, so that, notice I did this one, so that now, you know, like from here, you felt like, hey, you can reach out and slug me one. From here, he actually feels like to come out and slug me, he's got to change position.
Yes.
If he brings a fist from there, bring either one. That's covered. Bring the back one. That's covered. Right? Change position. Well, okay, so he changed side.
I'm changing.
Don't just change side. Well, then you got to be able to see.
Oh, correct.
Okay, so he changed position. So did I. Right? So this is where the thing I just had you do becomes important, because you're looking at their body going, where are the weaknesses at, and where's the balance at, and where's their power coming from. And that's important here, because if I judge wrongly, it'll look about like, you know, that. If I judge correctly, if I judge a little bit wrongly, it could be, push that fist out. It could be that. If I judge very correctly, it could be that. No effort at all on my side. And he's now got to bring his next punch. By the way, he's going to have to overcome that. Now, if I'm in a bad position here, just move me off with that arm if you would, and then come with your other punch. If I'm in a good position to it, go ahead and come.
Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with this.
And if I stay in a good position to that, I go, why do you want to do that to me anyways? And I've got control over his body. So when he gets really interesting about it, let's say he wants to come down and grab me now, and I do a move like, in this case, I went to, and I didn't plan it ahead of time, I just responded to where he is. I went to move like needle search a C, or come on in inside of that. So then I went back to snake creeps down, whatever move it is that's appropriate to his position, right? And that way I don't have to move too far. I'll still be able to do that when I'm 90 if I live that long and can walk one block, or approximately. So what I want you to do with your, and so take a different position. Let me you started off as a wrestler. So if I come up here, he goes great, because he's going to tackle me down there, right? So do I have top positions in my Tai Chi that would cover that position pretty well? And the answer is yes, for everybody in here that's doing Tai Chi, and for you for your forms from the other style as well. So he goes into the grappling type of position, right? And this could be this, ward off, or I'm sorry, ward off, but in this case, repulse monkey. I'm repulsing the monkey, right? In this case, sorry.
What do you say?
Yeah, that was the King Kong thing, right? Okay, so and so he dips down underneath that, and so then you've got moves that are a little more like brush knee. Come in and get my leg again. Okay, and so he got to the leg, slowly go to scoop it up. So then I come to back to that one from where I am. And I'm controlling his body position that he's helping me to control by being in the position he's in. That first part, the position him in being the first part, and he gets to choose that. So I need to be able to look at him. And when I say look at him, obviously a fighting situation's fast. So it may be that he started with his fist up and then went for my leg. Does your form do things like that to that? Sure it does. All right. Okay. So what I want you to do with your partner first is have them take whatever fighting position at a distance of slightly out of kicking range there. Take whatever fighting position. And I want you to find one of your Tai Chi moves that covers well. So I'm going to take your fighting position and I want you to do one that covers for this. Okay, and what I want to do is look at, does that cover this fighting position well? Let's see. Not ideal. And then notice and I want to let him do that. So I'm going to do it again. So a little more in there, okay. And then that's one position, one thing that would come out of this position. Here's another one. So it's okay. Could be better, but it was better than what happened initially. Take a different fighting position, and I will. And then again, do a move that's going to appropriately cover for it. Right. I don't know if that's going to help you so much. Let go. What's a good Tai Chi position for this? And notice I'm here for throwing for that.
Probably go,
Or the punch if he's in too close.
What single whip?
could, but
Who said that? Come on. Show up. Show up. I don't see that.
I've seen it.
Okay. That's not terrible. Yeah, because you're ready to smack that if I throw it, right? Smack it. Yep, that way. Go back there. If I come to the leg, you're ready to pick it up, yes? Yeah, and so that one's a little bit exposed there, so you can change that a little bit. Now it's not so exposed. As an example. I don't know if it's the one I would have chosen, but it's working for you, so that's okay. Do this with your partner, go through 3 different fighting positions, 3 different responses that we're covering for those positions at that distance, that you're not letting them get into you. There's the strategic idea, a little bit of distance, right? But the idea also being that somebody that really wants to attack you to hurt you, and it's not just they're angry because you looked at them the wrong way and they were half drunk, you know, that's something stupid, which is usually easily fixed with words and other kinds of the Tai Chi philosophy more than the Tai Chi fighting part, right? And ideally would be utilized. And most of the older masters that I've met, except for a few, would use that. The other ones would go, come here, youngster. But that's another story. Okay. So the person that Tai Chi is really looking to defend against most of the time would be somebody who's trying to catch you by surprise, or they're not standing there posing, taking a posture to come at you. They're coming at you, and they're getting as close as they can before they do that. Which means that if you're really aware and all that stuff, well then maybe you're doing the same thing in your positioning over here, like what you just did. But it also may well mean that the positioning is happening at contact distance already. At that distance, put your fist up again, what do I need to do to negate his ability to really hit me? Right? And so what he did was he made internal adjustment. Don't make the internal adjustment for this moment. We're going to get into that, but not for the moment. We'll also do this to her. And so by being here to him, notice his fist here is in front of his fist there, which means he's got to move that to bring that. Move that if you would. And then I do that again. Can you see okay? Okay. And if he tries to clear my arm out of there with his arm, what does Tai Chi do? It sticks. It'll also move. Right? And so I'm doing this so that he's in his own way, and he's going to have to reposition to hit at me. Because if he does this and then repositions to hit at me, while he's repositioning, I'll do my next move. Whatever that might be. Right? Take a different position there, different fighting posture of some form. Make sure if you can't see, let us know, and I'll make sure you can. And again, what can I do to make it so that he really is having a tougher time? I'm thinking this kind of a thing, but there are other movements there, right? Or just this. So try to move me off of you, right? But I'm covering for it, and again, think your moves, right? A lot of people think for this one, think just of the push of the other person out, which, yeah, it would work. It's great. What it's for, though, is do this once. What's he going to give me first? Is he going to go push me here, or is he going to put something else out there if I needed to use the move, right? So he makes the fist up. I'm already into my move. Boom, and coming with it. And that was done sloppy on my side, but I'm sure you get the idea. And so right away, whatever position he comes into in the close, I don't like this one. Then this one, he still got me. He probably didn't have me with that one. He definitely got me with that one, and I don't have it covered yet. So I'm going to adjust. Notice I'm coming down to play guitar. Bring you to one of your punches. I've got him covered, right, at the closer distance, like this. And we're not in contact distance yet, but we're in the distance where if he puts the hand on out here, we are. Do a grappling one of some sort. Not grabbing me, but in the position that you grab me, right? And so now comes to do the grab you were going to do. Go ahead and grab. You can't, just because of the position that I'm in. Notice I'm not tensing against him, I'm not using any force against him. It's the position that's doing it. Because I can still do the position when I'm 90 if I can walk up on it. If I'm using a bunch of that, maybe not so much, right? Okay, so do it at this distance with your partner again, 3 and 3, and then and as soon as you both have done it, then have a seat. First, and I arrive first. How does that happen? If people read it, right, it sounds like some mystical, magical, they threw their punch, and before they threw their punch, I hit them. But they were...
You advance, when they strike, you advance, and it takes you away from their target.
Well, I'll give you another thought on that. He does the thing we were talking about at this distance where he puts his fists up, okay, and I've already covered for it. He can throw first. Who's gonna, what's the word again? Arrive. Who's gonna arrive first? I am. Not him. He's gonna arrive to my hands. He's not gonna arrive to his target. I'll arrive to my target first. Because what's my target?
His hands.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit. Right? And since it's Tai Chi, once I make contact with any part of him, I have the rest. Because, in other words, if I want to pull something to his shoulder, I do it from there. I don't have to go up and hit the shoulder. Right? That's part of what you're learning to do, is to feel inside and to strike them inside from the contact point, wherever that is. Or if he grabs me, it's not that I have to magically somehow get to his head. I can get to his head from here. Watch his shoulder. Right? You guys can see it okay? I get to it from there. He's giving me what I need. There's his shoulder, actually his lower back. There's his feet. Okay? So the point being, when he's in the position, he'll come, so he's striking first. I arrive first. I have him now.